The sky was dark, heavy with clouds, and the wind howled across the quiet coastline. Waves crashed violently against jagged rocks, throwing foam high into the air. Nobody had expected it. The ocean had been calm just hours before. But now, something enormous was moving in the water, and it was heading toward the city. From a small coastal town, the first reports came through on radios. Fishermen shouted warnings, their voices trembling. Something massive, floating. No, it's sinking. Cameras barely captured the moment, a huge shadow under the water, rising like a mountain. People ran to the shoreline, shielding their eyes from lightning flashes. The storm was relentless, but something far stranger than weather had arrived. At the edge of the city, Dr. Elena Torres, a lead scientist at the government's advanced research facility, was the first to see it clearly. Through her telescope, she could make out the strange shape of a ship, or what she thought was a ship. It was unlike anything built on Earth. Its surface was metallic but smooth, reflecting the stormy sky in strange, shifting patterns. Lights flickered along its edges, blue and green, pulsing like a heartbeat. Elena's heart raced. She had read about unidentified objects before, studied them, theorized, but she had never seen anything this real. By the time the ship finally grounded itself on the shore, news helicopters circled overhead, and the city was buzzing with panic and curiosity. Military personnel arrived first. Soldiers in full gear approached cautiously, weapons drawn. "Keep back!" shouted a captain. Civilians were forced to retreat. Elena and a small team of scientists were escorted to the ship by the government, their credentials and knowledge making them the only civilians allowed near it. Inside, the air was thick with an unfamiliar energy. Strange hums vibrated through the floor, almost like the ship was alive. Panels of unknown symbols glowed faintly, and lights shifted in patterns that made no sense. The team moved slowly, touching surfaces that seemed both solid and soft at the same time. This is beyond anything we've imagined," whispered one young engineer, barely keeping his awe in check. Elena nodded. Every nerve in her body screamed that they had stumbled upon something extraordinary. Suddenly, a loud crack echoed through the chamber. The team froze. The ship vibrated, and a holographic map projected in the center of the room. Stars and planets appeared, spinning slowly. Lines connected them, forming constellations that humans had never charted. A voice, mechanical and melodic, spoke in a language no one understood. Yet, somehow, they felt its meaning. It was a warning, a record, a story of failure. Elena stepped closer. Her fingers hovered over a glowing panel. As she touched it, images flashed before their eyes. Ships exploding, planets falling, civilizations collapsing. Humanity had never faced anything like this. The ship was not just abandoned. It was a failed mission, left adrift in the cosmos until it landed here. But why here? Why Earth? Outside, the storm raged on. News reporters described the event as the alien ship that fell from the sky, and clips went viral worldwide. Governments issued warnings, asking people to stay away. Yet curiosity drove millions closer, desperate to see what had survived the crash. Inside the ship, the scientists worked tirelessly. They cataloged devices that seemed to defy physics, energy cores that glowed with pure light, propulsion systems that shifted without moving parts, and screens that projected possible star systems and galaxies far beyond their own. Each discovery made the team more excited, but also more nervous. What if touching this technology could trigger something catastrophic? And then came the call, not from any government or civilian, but from the ship itself. A deep, vibrating signal pulsed through their devices. Elena felt in her chest a sudden pressure, as if the ship was calling to them personally. "It's trying to communicate," she said, her voice barely audible. The team worked frantically to respond, sending signals back, hoping to understand. Hours turned into days. The ship's technology slowly revealed its secrets. One by one, scientists unlocked alien algorithms, propulsion sequences, and energy formulas that had never been seen on Earth. Yet, even as excitement grew, so did tension. Military leaders demanded control. "We can't let civilians handle this," said the captain firmly. "This technology is too dangerous." But Elena argued fiercely. "If we don't study it, we'll never understand. This ship could change humanity forever. It's not a weapon, it's a key. For now, the scientists were allowed limited access, but everyone knew the situation was fragile. One wrong move could ignite conflict, or worse, activate something they didn't understand. One evening, as lightning cracked across the horizon, a faint signal came from deep space. A blinking light appeared on the ship's console, moving rapidly. It was not Earth-based. Someone, or something, was tracking the ship. Panic rose. Could the original owners be coming to reclaim it? Or was it a predator, hunting the weak remnants left behind? Elena looked at her team, fear mixed with determination in their eyes. They had stumbled upon an alien ship, a relic of a failed mission. They had a choice. Leave it untouched and let the world wonder, or learn its secrets and risk everything. Humanity was about to step into something far bigger than they had ever imagined. The night grew darker, storms louder. Somewhere in the distance, the ship hummed, almost impatiently. And then, a bright flare shot into the sky. A warning, a signal, a call that they could not ignore. Humanity had heard the desperate call, and the first step toward the stars had begun. The storm had passed, leaving a strange calm over the coastline. The alien ship lay half buried in the sand, its massive hull scarred from the crash. Yet, it still hummed with energy, like a heartbeat that refused to die. Dr. Elena Torres stood on the beach, her coat flapping in the wind, staring at the ship. She could feel it. This was not just a wreck. This was a treasure of knowledge, a chance for humanity to leap far beyond anything they had ever imagined. The government had allowed a small team of scientists and engineers to enter the ship under strict supervision. Military guards circled the perimeter, keeping civilians at a safe distance. Elena's team had been granted access to what the ship allowed, though access was more like stepping carefully into an unknown world. Every step inside sent shivers through their bodies. The air shimmered with energy. Lights danced across walls in patterns that seemed alive, and strange hums echoed like whispers in an empty cathedral. The first task was simple, or so it seemed. Understand the power source. The ship was massive, and traditional energy meters went haywire the moment they neared its core. Elena and her team observed a glowing orb suspended in the center of a chamber, radiating waves of energy that seemed to bend the very air around it. They had never seen anything like it. This is not just fuel, whispered Dr. Malik, a young physicist. It's a living system. It's alive. For days, the team worked tirelessly. They mapped every corridor, every room, every device they could access without triggering a dangerous reaction. Panels reacted to touch, rearranging themselves. Screens projected star systems that no human telescope had ever discovered. Weapons, propulsion systems, shields, they were all there, waiting to be understood. Yet understanding them was another matter. Each system was far beyond human technology, using principles that defied gravity, energy, and even time as they knew it. At night, when the world outside slept, Elena stayed inside the ship, alone with its hums and lights. Sometimes, it seemed as if the ship was watching her. When she reached out to touch a panel, images would flash. Ships flying at unimaginable speed, alien worlds with forests glowing in neon colors, cities floating in clouds. She realized then that this ship was more than just a vessel. It was a library, a guide, a map to the universe. But progress was not without risk. One afternoon, an engineer accidentally triggered a security system. A loud alarm reverberated through the ship, walls shifting, doors locking, lights flashing red. The team scrambled, heartbeats racing. Panels that had been inert moments before now projected warnings in symbols no one could read. Elena realized that the ship was not just abandoned, it was defended. Someone had left safeguards. And somehow, the ship knew when humans were curious, cautious, or careless. While the scientists explored, the military grew impatient. They wanted the ship's weapons and power for themselves. "We can't wait months," the captain said, pacing the control room. "This technology could be a game changer. We need to test it, deploy it, use it." Elena argued again, insisting that rushing would be catastrophic. "We don't even understand how it works. You touch the wrong panel, and you could destroy the ship or the Earth." Tensions rose. The scientists and military disagreed on nearly every decision. Yet, The ship seemed to respond to human determination. Slowly, systems unlocked as the team learned patterns, how to control energy flows, how to interface with alien software, even how to move the ship without fully understanding its propulsion. Every day brought a new discovery. Every night, new fears. One evening, while testing the ship's sensors, Elena noticed something unusual. Deep space signals were being intercepted, messages, faint and broken, that suggested someone or something was tracking the ship. The aliens who had abandoned it were not gone. They were coming. The thought made her stomach turn. Humanity had a treasure, yes, but they were not the only ones interested in it. The team worked faster, more cautiously. They began constructing a small lab on the ship itself, salvaging alien technology to create tools humans could safely use. Tiny drones floated through corridors, mapping and scanning, sending back images to human monitors. Screens projected simulations of alien propulsion systems. Shields and energy fields were tested in control chambers. Every breakthrough made the team more confident and more aware of their vulnerability. Then came the first demonstration. The ship's engines hummed louder than ever before. Lights pulsed with energy, and a small portion of the hull lifted off the ground, hovering inches above the sand. The military watched, jaws dropped. This is impossible," said one officer. Elena smiled faintly. "It's not impossible. We just had to learn the rules." But as the ship hovered, a signal came from deep space, brighter and faster than anything the team had seen. The ship's lights shifted, panels rearranged themselves, and a holographic image appeared. A fleet of alien ships, fast-moving, scanning, calculating. Humanity had been noticed, and whoever, or whatever, was coming was not friendly. Panic gripped the team, but Elena's resolve hardened. "We can't run," she said. "We have to learn, we have to prepare. This ship isn't just technology, it's a tool. And if we understand it, we can protect ourselves and more." For weeks, the team worked in shifts day and night. Alien energy cores were studied and adapted. Humans began learning to manipulate propulsion systems, to create shields, to generate energy weapons. Each discovery felt miraculous, yet they were constantly aware of the alien fleet's potential arrival. The sense of urgency was suffocating, but it drove human ingenuity like nothing else ever had. During one late-night session, Elena discovered something remarkable. A control panel, seemingly inert, projected a map of galaxies beyond the known universe, routes to distant star systems, energy pathways, and even messages from civilizations long gone. The ship wasn't just a tool for war. It was a guide to the stars. Humanity could leave Earth, explore, and expand far beyond anything they had imagined. But with this realization came fear. Could humans be ready for the stars? Could they survive alien technology and alien pursuit? Could Earth handle the consequences of possessing such power? These questions haunted Elena, keeping her awake long after the lab was empty. Finally, after months of study, the team achieved something incredible. They had restored the ship's core systems, enough to power small experiments and test flights. The first trial was simple, a short-distance flight within a contained testing area. As the ship rose into the sky, hovering above the coastline, people below gasped. They had witnessed a miracle, the impossible made real. Humanity was no longer bound to Earth, but the alien fleet continued to move closer. Sensors showed fast-moving vessels, scanning, learning. The ship's lights pulsed in warning, as if acknowledging the threat. The countdown to a confrontation had begun, and humanity had mere weeks, or even days, to understand the ship fully or face annihilation. Elena stood on the bridge, her hand resting on the alien console. The ship hummed softly, almost reassuringly. "We've learned so much," she whispered, "and yet we have so far to go. This is only the beginning." The first sparks of human ingenuity had ignited. Humanity had taken the ship from ruins to a functioning marvel. But as the stars glimmered in the distance, the message was clear. The universe was vast, the aliens were coming, and the future of humanity was about to be tested in ways no one had ever imagined. And as the night deepened, a faint, alien signal pulsed once more, a call across the void. This time, it was not desperate. It was a warning. And the countdown to humanity's first real battle for the stars had begun. The alien ship rested silently on the hidden launch site, deep within a secluded valley far from prying eyes. The storm had long passed, leaving only the hum of the ship vibrating through the air. Elena Torres walked along the ship's hull, her steps careful, deliberate. Today would be the first real test, a flight that would take the ship beyond the launch pads, into the skies, and perhaps beyond Earth itself. Her team assembled in the bridge, the heart of the alien vessel. Panels glowed with soft light, alien symbols shifting in rhythm with the ship's energy. Engineers checked every system one last time, eyes flicking nervously between consoles and readouts. Military personnel lingered near the doors, tense and impatient, eager to see the power harnessed for their use. But Elena ignored them. "This is not just a flight," she said. "It's a step into a new future. If we fail, it won't just be our lives. We could destroy everything." The ship's engines pulsed. Blue light streamed from the undercarriage, lifting the vessel inches above the ground. Slowly it hovered. Elena felt the vibrations through her fingertips, the hum in her chest, almost like the ship was breathing. She reached out, feeling the connection. "We're ready," she thought. With a deep breath, she initiated the flight sequence. The valley shook as the ship's alien engines roared to life. Energy flares arched along the hull, casting strange shadows on the mountains around them. Then, with a sudden surge, the vessel shot into the sky. Clouds parted, and the first view of Earth from above took Elena's breath away. Cities, forests, oceans, it all looked tiny, fragile. And above it, the ship cut through the air like a comet. At first, the flight was smooth. The team marveled at how responsive the ship was, how intuitive the controls felt despite being alien. Elena guided the vessel over mountains, rivers, and cities. Screens projected star maps, showing nearby satellites, asteroids, and even distant planets. Every movement felt magical, like controlling a living creature rather than a machine. But the moment of awe was brief. Sensors detected something moving fast across the upper atmosphere. Small blips, almost invisible at first, appear on the displays. Scouting drones, the team realized from the alien fleet. Their signals were precise, calculated. They had found the ship, and they were coming closer. "Speed up," shouted an engineer. The ship responded instantly, pushing into higher altitudes. The air around them shimmered with the alien energy fields. But the drones weren't just observing. They attacked. Small beams of energy lasered toward the ship. They were weak compared to the alien vessel, but precise enough to test the team's reflexes. Elena maneuvered the ship with skill born of hours of practice. She twisted, dodged, and accelerated, learning its capabilities in real time. Each movement felt alive. The ship seemed to anticipate her intent, assisting her subtly as if it knew what she wanted before she did. The drones fired again, narrowly missing, and exploded in harmless flashes against the energy shields they had managed to activate. The thrill of flight was tempered by fear. Humanity had never faced anything like this. The aliens were fast, relentless, intelligent. One mistake, one miscalculation, and the ship could be lost, or worse, the humans inside it. Then came the unexpected. The ship's sensors picked up a massive object moving at incredible speed from deep space. Larger than the drones, a real vessel. Its hull was jagged, dark, radiating an energy that humans could feel even without touching it. Elena's stomach tightened. This wasn't just a patrol. It was a hunter. The alien fleet had arrived. Prepare defenses. Elena ordered. Engineers activated the shields, energy barriers flickering into existence. The ship pulsed as if responding to her commands. Panels displayed weapon systems, alien technology they had only just begun to understand. Energy beams charged slowly, the hum growing louder. The first strike came suddenly. A flash of light illuminated the sky, and the alien vessel fired a beam. The human ship shook violently, alarms blaring. Panels flashed warnings in symbols no one could read. Elena gritted her teeth. She had trained for this moment, but nothing could prepare them for the power of a fully functional alien warship. With instinct and courage, she fired a defensive pulse from the ship's energy core. It wasn't a weapon. They weren't ready for that yet. But a shockwave of energy radiated outward, forcing the alien drone swarm to veer off course. Sparks flew across the consoles, and the ship shuddered from the strain. The humans were learning fast. Drones came again, faster this time, but Elena's team had adapted. Each maneuver, each pulse, each dodge taught them more about the alien technology. It was a deadly game of learning under pressure. Hours passed, or what felt like hours in the heat of the battle. The alien fleet tested them continuously, probing defenses, scanning weaknesses, and sending signals that the humans could only barely intercept. Yet, each attack revealed secrets. Energy, pathways, shield weaknesses, propulsion quirks. They began to understand the ship not just as a machine, but as a living system that could be tamed. The turning point came unexpectedly. Elena noticed a faint irregularity in the alien signals, a repeating pattern. It was a rhythm, a weakness in how the alien ships coordinated their attacks. With a quick calculation, she guided the ship into a tight maneuver, aligning their energy pulse with the fleet's pattern. The resulting blast disrupted the drones, scattering them across the atmosphere. The humans cheered, though cautiously. They knew the battle was not over. Yet amidst the chaos, a new discovery revealed itself. The ship's navigation system had unlocked a hidden function, hyperspeed capability. It could leap between points in space almost instantly, traveling distances that would take ordinary ships years in mere seconds. Elena realized the potential. With this power, humanity could explore, escape, or even fight back with strategy instead of brute force. But the alien fleet had learned too. Their massive vessel loomed closer, preparing for a direct attack. Elena felt the weight of responsibility. Humanity's first flight into space was no longer an experiment. It was a battle for survival, a test of courage, and a lesson in adaptability. Using every ounce of skill, Elena guided the ship through a series of daring maneuvers, weaving between the alien craft and the atmosphere. She activated the shields, pulsed energy barriers, and tested weapons in brief flashes. The humans were learning faster than the aliens had anticipated, and for the first time, it seemed the hunter was being challenged by the prey. At one point, a small beam grazed the hull, scorching the surface, leaving a trail of molten metal. The ship shuddered violently. Panic threatened to overtake the team, but Elena's calm focus steadied them. "We survive because we learn," she said. "Every hit teaches us something. Every maneuver prepares us for what's next." The battle raged for hours. Sunlight faded into twilight as Earth's horizon loomed below. The ship, battered but unbroken, had proven its resilience. The alien drones had been repelled, temporarily at least, but the massive vessel remained, waiting, watching, calculating. The humans had won a small victory, but the war for the stars had only just begun. Elena gazed out at the darkening sky, stars twinkling beyond the atmosphere. Somewhere out there, the alien fleet was regrouping. Somewhere out there, humans had just made their first mark in a universe far larger and more dangerous than they could have imagined. And as the ship hummed softly beneath her feet, she realized the truth. Humanity had survived its first test, but the real challenge was still ahead. They had learned to fly. They had learned to fight. But the stars were full of secrets, threats, and opportunities. And only by mastering the alien ship completely could humanity hope to conquer them. The alien vessel hung above the Earth like a shadow, massive and menacing. Its dark hull absorbed the sunlight, radiating power that humans could feel even from miles away. Dr. Elena Torres stood on the bridge of the alien ship, her fingers brushing over the glowing panels. Every light, every hum, every vibration pulsed through her like a warning. Humanity had survived the first attack, but the alien fleet's main force was approaching, and there was no turning back. The team had spent weeks preparing. Alien technology, once a mystery, was now partially understood. Humans had adapted propulsion systems, reinforced shields, and even begun experimenting with energy-based weapons. Engineers and scientists worked side by side, guided by Elena's leadership, their nerves steady under the pressure of imminent battle. For the first time in history, humanity was about to fight not just to survive, but to conquer. The first contact came suddenly. Sensors picked up hundreds of alien vessels moving through the atmosphere. They were faster, larger, and far more numerous than anything humans had faced. The alien fleet had coordinated attacks, designed to overwhelm any defense. The massive mothership led the charge, its weapons glowing with lethal energy. Elena's heart raced, but her resolve hardened. "Remember what we learned," she said, her voice calm but firm. "This ship is alive. It adapts, and so do we. Use everything we've learned. Human ingenuity is our greatest weapon." The first wave hit. Energy beams flashed across the sky, and smaller drones swarmed around the alien ship. The humans responded with precision. Shields pulsed, engines flared, and energy blasts forced the attackers to scatter. Each maneuver, each pulse, each reaction tested the limits of human understanding. Yet the alien vessels were relentless, pressing harder with every strike. Elena realized that brute force would not win this battle. She needed strategy. Observing the enemy, she noticed patterns, slight delays in their weapon firing, predictable movement sequences, and energy fluctuations. She communicated these to the team, who quickly adjusted the ship's movements, using the alien technology against them. The battle raged for hours. Earth cities below watched in awe as streaks of light and energy lit the skies. Humanity's first interstellar war had begun, not in the stars, but in their own atmosphere. Every attack taught the humans something new. Every dodge, every shield pulse, every weapon discharge brought them closer to understanding the true potential of the alien ship. Then came the turning point. Elena directed the ship into a risky maneuver, diving into the atmosphere, weaving between alien vessels while charging the ship's core energy. With precise timing, they released a massive energy pulse, sending shock waves to the enemy fleet. Drones exploded midair, and even the mothership shuddered. For the first time, the aliens hesitated. Humanity had struck, not with raw power, but with intelligence and courage. The humans pressed the advantage. Using the ship's hyperspeed capabilities, they launched rapid strikes, avoiding counterattacks while targeting critical systems of the alien vessels. The fleet began to retreat, disrupted and confused by the unprecedented human tactics. Elena realized then that the failure of the original aliens had become humanity's greatest weapon. They had studied, adapted, and used intelligence to overcome brute force. But the battle was far from over. The mothership regrouped, releasing a massive beam of energy aimed directly at Earth. Cities trembled as the beam struck the atmosphere, slicing through clouds and throwing lightning across the continents. Humanity's survival now depended on the alien ship fully. Elena and her team focused every system, channeling energy into shields and counterpulses. The bridge hummed with power, lights flashing violently. Time seemed to stretch as humans poured their will, knowledge, and courage into the ship. Finally, with a brilliant surge of energy, the beam was redirected, dissipating harmlessly into space. The alien mothership shuddered, its weapons disabled, drones scattered, and the fleet began to withdraw. Humanity had not only defended Earth, they had struck fear into an alien civilization that had never imagined humans could wield such power. The moment was electric. The bridge fell silent for a heartbeat as the team stared at the retreating fleet. Elena's chest swelled with pride and relief. "We did it," she whispered. "We survived. We adapted. And we won." But the victory was more than survival. The ship systems unlocked new functions, revealing routes to distant star systems. Energy grids, propulsion sequences, and navigation maps now allowed humans to leave the solar system entirely. Humanity could explore, colonize, and expand across the stars. The alien ship, once a relic of failure, had become a vessel of opportunity. Elena looked out at the stars, her mind racing. For centuries, humans had gazed upward, dreaming of space. Now, they could step beyond dreams into reality. Every system, every planet, every unknown world was within reach, and humanity had the tools, the courage, and the intellect to succeed. The first deep space launch was planned meticulously. Engineers calculated trajectories, energy requirements, and hyperspeed jumps. Pilots trained in simulations, learning to synchronize with the alien ship's living systems. And when the day came, the vessel rose from Earth, cutting to the atmosphere like a silver arrow. The planet below shrank, and stars above grew in intensity. Humanity was no longer bound to a single world. They had become a spacefaring species. During the first interstellar flight, the humans discovered alien outposts, abandoned colonies, and strange celestial phenomena. Each discovery taught them more about the universe and themselves. Humanity was clever, adaptable, and resilient. They learned to navigate dangers, to communicate, and even to avoid hostile species. The alien ship became a teacher as much as a vessel, guiding humans to the stars with every pulse and hum. And yet, Elena knew the universe was vast and full of threats. The aliens they had defeated were only one civilization. Others waited in the shadows, observing, calculating, judging whether humanity was a species worth ignoring or eradicating. But humanity had learned its greatest lesson. Survival depended not on fear, but on courage, intelligence, and unity. As the alien ship traveled beyond the solar system, Elena gathered her team. "We are humanity now," she said. "We carry Earth with us, but we are no longer bound by it. Every star we reach, every world we explore, is proof that we can rise above any challenge. We are the species that adapts, the species that survives, the species that conquers." The ship glowed brighter as they entered deep space. Nebulas, comets, and distant suns passed by in a dazzling display of cosmic light. For the first time, humans felt the awe and responsibility of true interstellar travelers. The ship's energy pulsed in harmony with them, alive, responsive, and full of potential. Humanity had inherited the keys to the stars, and they would not squander them. Elena's eyes lingered on a distant galaxy, a swirl of light and color. She thought of Earth, small and fragile behind them, and of the challenges that lay ahead. But she also thought of her team, of humanity, of the infinite possibilities waiting in the cosmos. And in that moment, she realized that the failure of aliens had become humanity's greatest triumph. The ship's lights pulsed, a gentle reminder of the journey that had begun. Humanity had survived its first battles, adapted alien technology, and overcome a superior enemy. But the universe was vast, mysterious, and filled with wonders yet unseen. Every star was a new chance, every planet a new story. Humanity was no longer earthbound. They were explorers, warriors, and dreamers, united in a destiny among the stars. As the alien vessel sailed into the endless darkness of space, a new chapter began. Humanity had conquered fear, mastered technology, and stepped boldly into the cosmos. The stars were no longer distant. They were home. And for the first time, the humans of Earth understood that their journey had only just begun.